Beneath the glare of those merciless practice court lights, the familiar rhythm of sneakers and bouncing balls suddenly feels antiseptic, an echo chamber for a rumor so incendiary it threatens to burn the house down. Word on the hardwood is that the Lakers, the Heat, and the Jazz are about to drop a three-team blockbuster that could redraw the NBA map like a lightning bolt searing the night sky. Picture LeBron James, the league's undisputed monarch, pulling on a Miami jersey. Once more this time flanked by his son Bronny, primed to ascend under Papa's wing in palm-fringed arenas. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger, Lauri Markkanen, the Utah sharpshooter who went from most improved player whisper to all-star roar, is packing his bags for Southern California, poised to rain daggers from deep alongside the likes of Anthony Davis. And the Jazz? They're ready to reboot, trading away their lone superstar to stockpile draft picks and young talent, betting on tomorrow even as their past crumbles. Imagine the instant tremor under the basket when the Jazz fax the final papers. Markkanen's departure isn't just a trade, it's a seismic exodus of shooting gravity, a signal that Utah is surrendering this season for the sheen of future glory. In return, they're hauling in Terry Rozier, whose lightning-quick handles and clutch shot-making could slot seamlessly into John Stockton's old spot as floor general, plus Rui Hachimura, who blends power and finesse in the paint away. The Rockies blend altitude and attitude. They're even snagging the electrifying Dalton Knecht, a rising star who slashes to the rim-crack defenses like overmatched shutters. Layer on a handful of future first-rounders from LA and Miami 2027, 2029, 2031, and you've got an asset cache that feels like holding a golden ticket to the draft lottery for years to come. Swing down I-95 to Miami, and the air is thick with what if. Because if the rumor mill is churning true, LeBron's homecoming isn't just about assembling the resurgence of the original Heatles era. It's about injecting the locker room with the magnetic pull of 4 decades of finals heartbreak and triumph. Bam Adebayo will have a ringside seat to the greatest show on earth, watching LeBron orchestrate pick and rolls with the precision of a maestro, while Bronny, fresh-faced and hungry for greatness, absorbs every play like a sponge. Imagine those vice versa alley-oop lobs, the stadium pulsating with hope. As Miami reveals, it's not just chasing banners, it's reimagining its entire DNA. Suddenly, every game is a must-see event, a front-page headline, a bet. That the Heat can rise from their first-round flameout last season to championship contention in a single, electrifying swoop. Now pivot to Hollywood's palatial practice facility, where the Lakers brass are huddled in a war room thick with flavor whiteboards, peppered with cap projections and what-if scenarios scribbled in dry erase. Rob Pelinka's pacing, phone glued to his ear, his screen flooded with text from Rich Paul and every rival GM who hears the buzz and senses weakness. He knows Luka Doncic, sorry. Scratch that. Doncic's magic in Dallas is the league's hottest ticket. But the Lakers aren't cornering the market on star power. They're about to hedge their bet on a two-pronged future. Luka's transcendent craft and Markkanen's steely precision from deep, wrapped around the defensive grit of Andrew Wiggins, who still guards the best wings with that oak-like stance. This isn't a rebuild. It's a tactical pivot, a next-gen identity that whispers, we've honored the past, but we live for the future. Imagine Steph Curry-style catch-and-shoot ripples draining through the purple and gold. The crowd's roar rippling through the rafters like a pulse LA, proving it can still lure top-tier talent without a ring on hand. The real masterstroke? It's not just in the players it nets, but in the message it sends. That the Lakers believe in taking chances, in rewriting their story even as they honor their legends. Remember the Russell Magic era, when Hollywood heaved itself back onto the throne? This is the modern mirror, a Hollywood reborn, the post-LeBron chapter. Each three-pointer a wink at the pass. Each defensive stop a youth movement's heartbeat. Yet, for all the pomp and promise, a hidden clause lies in the plaza. Salary cap spreadsheets, a no-trade exception buried so deep that only the wiliest capologists know it exists. That secret could derail the deal faster than a buzzer beater, sending ripples through locker rooms and social feeds, leaving fans gasping in unison. If LeBron's contract stipulates he can't be traded without his blessing, or if Bronny's rookie deal triggers a league-wide consent clause, the entire construct could collapse in a puff of paperwork. Suddenly, the Jazz are left clutching nothing but draft dreams. LA's grand vision is on pause, and Miami's resurrection goes back to the drafting board. What if it all unravels just when the cameras start rolling? Picture the faces of those young Lakers prospects glimpsed through the net after a dunk contest, discovering they've been collateral damage in an epic three-team saga. Or the Heat's bench players, hearts racing for playoff glory, staring at an unchanged schedule as whispers morph into headlines. Plot twist: LeBron stays, Markkanen stays, Utah holds on, and the three-way blockbuster fizzles like a firework that didn't reach the sky. But when the ink dries and the transaction belt finishes rolling, the NBA world will awaken in an alternate reality. Markkanen wearing Lakers purple, LeBron and Bronny cruising South Beach, and Utah rebuilding. With tomorrow's stars, analysts will scramble to update their power rankings, and fans will rediscover that the league's only true constant is chaos. This triple threat trade isn't merely a transaction. It's a tectonic shift in the foundation of three-storied franchises. It's a cinematic plot twist with no script, no director, and no rehearsal, only the raw, unfiltered drama of sport at its most unpredictable. So strap in, because the fallout is about to start. Headlines will blare, podcasts will erupt, and every draft board will rewrite itself overnight. If you blink, you'll wake in a league you no longer recognize, where the Lakers chase a new kind of legend. The Heat chase redemption on the wings of legacy, and the Jazz chase a horizon that stretches beyond today's scoreboard. This is the sound of basketball's tectonic plates shifting under your feet. And if you miss a single beat, you'll be left scrambling to catch up in a world where the superstars have relocated, the dynasties are pivoting, and the only guarantee is that the game you thought you knew just changed forever. Feel that swarm of butterflies turning into a stampede in your chest? That's Lakers fervor about to go nuclear, because if you thought the dust was settling after that triple threat trade whisper, buckle every strap in the arena of your mind. What we're staring down is not just a seismic shakeup. It's a war for the Lakers' very soul, and the redefinition of an era that burned so bright it blinded a generation of hoops lovers. And here's the raw nerve. Lauri Markkanen sliding into the purple and gold isn't just a roster move. It's a declaration that the Pelinka regime is hell-bent on scrapping the LeBron-centric blueprint that served as both a blessing and a curse. Think about it. LeBron James had that superhuman grip on LA's fate for near a decade, a titan whose shadow still stretches across the rafters. From the echo of buzzer beaters to that bubble banner shining like a promise of what was and maybe never quite will be again. But now, you stare at the tension crackling in the locker room. The locker room chemistry melting like ice under a spotlight. And hear the low grumbles of veterans like Anthony Davis or Wiggins, whose trust could shatter with one wrong word as the Lakers chase a future that's less King's Court and more chessboard. Picture Pelinka pacing outside Luka's hotel suite, feeling like a man with too many flames to put out at once. He knows this gamble isn't just about talent. It's about culture, identity, and whether the Lakers can truly pivot or get swallowed whole by an unforgiving Western gauntlet stacked with the likes of Jokic's Denver, who smell blood, or the Phoenix Suns swagger that's sharper than ever, watching for any chink in the Lakers' armor to exploit. Now imagine the pressure cooker in the locker room. Does a D buy into becoming Luka's silent enforcer? Does Wiggins embrace a new role that might push him to the edge? Or are cracks already creeping beneath the surface that could implode the core before it ever stabilizes? It's like watching a coiled slinky ready to snap under the weight of expectation. And the fans? We can taste the electric tension in purple and gold veins, the low simmer of hope mixed with apprehension as Twitter explodes in heated debates and Instagram stories flicker with glimpses of unrest and tentative optimism. But hold up, there's one clause in that trade nobody foresaw. A tiny but lethal no-trade exception, buried deep in the negotiation files that could render the whole deal a house of cards if any player wields it to halt the move. Scrambling. Not just the Lakers' vision, but sending shockwaves that could rupture trust between front offices and shift leverage wildly. What if Bronny James's arrival in Miami isn't just about legacy or a sentimental encore, but a strategic masterstroke by the Heat to insert a youth narrative that's as intoxicating as a championship run? LeBron redeployed, not as the lone savior, but the spiritual anchor, passing the torch like a relay on a hurricane-churned court, intertwining the franchise's destiny with a son who embodies both promise and pressure. The Heat are tectonically shifting, and you can almost hear the Miami brass nudging Eric Spoelstra to rethink his blueprints. A franchise ready to sprint back into the title chase or collapse under the weight of nostalgia. Now imagine the whispers circling about Bam Adebayo's place in this new order. Is he the unmovable fortress or the sacrificial piece in a larger puzzle? Each scenario spins so many webs of speculation, the air is thick enough to slice with a dagger. The Heat's identity hangs in the balanced pure grit or star-studded flash. Meanwhile, Utah's quiet rebuild feels like the eye of the storm. Packs of picks loading up for a future windfall, while veterans like Terry Rozier and Rui Hachimura arrive like puzzle pieces that might or might not integrate fast enough to keep the Jazz afloat during this transformation. Their front office's decision to flip Markkanen, a star who found his stroke and his soul in Salt Lake City, is a bold, if risky, nod to patience. The kind of patience Lakers fans have felt every year this franchise tiptoed on the edge of collapse and glory. So here we are, Lakers chasing a redefined hope, Heat stirring a potent mix of legacy and youth, Jazz pressing reset with a future-focused eye, and the ripple effect? Man, it's about to drown the league in chaos. Now imagine the fury from the fan bases. The purple and gold diehards aren't just bracing for change. They're wrestling with what may feel like betrayal, a passing of the torch that's as thrilling as it is terrifying. Will the ghosts of Showtime and the deafening echoes of Shaq Kobe's dominance haunt the new roster's chemistry? Will this be the reckoning where years of truncated promise explode into a hard-earned dynasty, or shatter into fragments of nostalgia and what might have been? Every second, the clock's pounding louder, like a Vegas dealer tossing chips. Onto the table, the Lakers' gamble isn't safe anymore, it's all or nothing. And just when you think you've decoded every angle, a cryptic leak from inside sources whispers of a hidden subplot. Could Anthony Davis be ready to push back, demanding assurances that might break the fragile deal open from inside? Or is this entire triad swap a smokescreen for an even bigger splash, the kind that involves a megastar no one's dared to name aloud yet, waiting in the shadows like a tempest? The West is circling like wolves. Denver's eyes narrow, Phoenix's swagger glints sharper than ever. Golden State's cunning waits in the wings, and the Clippers, always hungry to feast on Lakers' chaos. The narrative's changing every hour, tweets exploding with rumors, fan bars erupting with debates, every podcast scrambling to piece together what the Lakers front office really sees in this swirling maelstrom. We're witnessing the birth of a new era, or the twilight of the old guard. And the only thing certain is uncertainty itself, a velvet noose tightening around the legacy of LeBron's legendary L.A. chapter, a story written in sweat, glory, and sacrifice that might, just maybe, be fading into a new dawn powered by Luka's magic, Lauri's sharpshooting, and a roster desperate to prove fate's got nothing on purple and gold grit. So here's the storm, I swear, is coming ready to shake the very foundations of the league, remold the balance of power, and light fans on fire with every unexpected move that Pelinka's minions pull from their sleeves. Now you tell me, what's tearing at your gut? Because trust me, this saga has only just ignited.